Hey guys, Yips here coming up with another video, and today I want to take some time to talk about League starting as a Bane Occultist. Bane is an excellent ability for early mapping. It's an excellent ability once you scale it into red maps. Having those chaos pops is going to be huge for quick clearing, and I think the build that I have listed here is extremely tanky, going to have a lot of EHP, and it's going to be really feels good for getting into those white maps, yellow maps, and early reds with minimal investment. I'll show you how to scale the damage up to 3 times the amount that I have currently listed. So right now I have around 800k Shaper DPS, and I'll show you how to get that up 3 times higher with, like I said, minimal investment. So we'll go ahead and look at the items here. I currently have nothing on. If you're wondering where the damage is coming from, it's coming from all of the auras that we're running, as well as just having a level 21 Bane on a 6th link and having a level 20 Blight on a 6th link. Chaos builds scale really well off gem levels, so once you get these two things rolling in 6 links, you're pretty much good to go for a while. Now, in terms of gearing and things that are going to make it easy for you to scale the damage, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is the weapon. We're going to be using the Cane Up Unraveling. Excellent staff for early League starters. Almost every single Chaos build on softcore will highly recommend using this. +2 to Chaos spell gems, plus 48% Chaos damage over time. Just an absolute powerhouse in terms of an early game staff that you can get pretty easily and pretty cheaply on the softcore trade market. Yes, it will cost a little bit more for the first couple days of the league, but if you're able to pick one up, you can see I've already almost doubled the damage just by putting this one item on the build. The next thing that we're going to want to look at is Crown of the Inward Eye. That is going to scale our damage even further. Once people start killing Sirius, this thing is not too expensive because it's such a common drop-off of the boss. Getting those transfigurations of soul, body, and mind is going to be huge in terms of scaling our damage. And the last thing that you want to think about is getting that Hunter Amulet with +1 level to Chaos skills and Chaos.multi. I highly recommend crafting this yourself, buying a high eye level Hunter Ami for around 1 Exalt, and then just keeping it with you and going through maps and putting it into Harvest and just keep slamming it with the Chaos crafts. Eventually you'll get something that's good, and you'll be able to use it instead of having to spend 4 to 5 Exalts on one that's already pre-rolled for you. So this is the leveling tree. Like I said, the important things are the auras that we have here. Nothing too crazy in terms of the damage things that we're running. We do have this +1 to chaos damage over time multiplier per 4% chaos res. That just means we are scaling our damage with chaos resistance. It's not too much. Getting 75% chaos res is around getting the same as 25% dot multi, so it is good. However, early game, you don't need to focus on it too much. However, this wither effect is going to be really strong and noticeable being an occultist on single target. In terms of the way that you want to gear your character early on in the game, you're just looking for stuff that has armor and ES, life, and resistances. So any sort of piece of gear that has armor and energy shield on it as a base, with life, with resistances, is going to be more than enough to get this build started. So if we just want to create some gear here really quickly for the build, we can just go down here and type armor/energy shield. And we'll just pick up all of these very basic items for our build. So we need a body armor, so we're going to go ahead and pick up a Saintly Chainmail, and we'll lower the rolls here, and we'll just take a look and see what our HP is like and what our defenses are like with just a very basic level of investment of gear. Stuff that's easy to pick up for just a couple chaos. We need boots, so let's go ahead and grab some two-tone boots, some pretty mad rolls on them. We need some rings, so let's just get ourselves some ring. What do we got here? We'll use a coral ring just to simulate a little bit of extra life, and we'll have a belt. Perfect. So I just put on some very standard, very easy to get League Start gear, and you can see we have 2.7k energy shield and 4.2k life at level 85, which is pretty solid for a softcore build that has 34.5k armor. That is a ton of physical damage mitigation. Having that much armor is also going to allow us to use Val Molten Shell, which is a huge guard skill. If you go into Calxir and you want to see, you're actually getting a 6k Val Molten Shell buff whenever you take damage and that guard skill is off cooldown because you have it linked to that cast when damage taken. So you're actually quite a tanky character for the level of gear investment that you have, and being a softcore build with a ton of DPS with not too many things going into that damage calculation. Now, scaling the build past this point, past getting 2.4 to 3 million dot DPS, is going to start getting very expensive, but that's when you want to think about transitioning into other builds. Chaos Dot is not meant to really push the echelons of 7 to 10 million boss DPS. It's meant to be a good mapper, it's meant to be a solid choice to start, it's meant to have goals that you can get that are easy to focus on when you're playing through the build. And this is sort of my take on it. This is just kind of a quick talk. There are a ton of other builds out there for for Bane Occultist. I would just compare with mine, see if there's differences that you prefer with the other ones, see if there's differences with mine that you enjoy. Either way, thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a good one.